So, new month, new values being built, also new week. So we have a lot of things to talk about. The breakdown of the trade, we're done with it. And let's jump right into the outlook. Starting off with price action, higher time frame wise. Let me hide some levels here. Okay, so higher time frame wise, based on PA, we are sitting into this order block right here, where we initially, you know, bounce from, but then, we're coming back into the order block. Now, what is the main scenario that we would like to see here in order to be bullish? A range, right? Range, sweep, potentially sweep again. Then this is some sort of distribution forming. So then we could see a bounce, right, towards at least 100K. So yeah, it's like a typical move of the market, right? That's how markets move. From balance to imbalance, you know it. Then the most bearish scenario, for a bullish scenario, we would like to see this, or at least a higher low here, then some momentum forming, some highs breaking, for a move back to 100K and potentially even higher. Once we are holding higher time frame structure, there's no reason to be bearish anymore. So we could aim for higher targets towards 100K and maybe even higher towards 120, this POI right here. But still too early to tell exactly. So we are focusing on what is happening now, right? So best case scenario is if we get a range here. Range, have some rotations for lows to highs and so on. The worst case scenario is if we keep on grinding lower. If we keep on grinding lower, I mean, we will end up taking a further plus lower towards 60, 65K, 66K, around there, because we have a value here. I'll go through the values in a bit. Also, we are coming into the last month of the year, right? So monthly closed like this, then we opened up and then we're dumping again. Too early to tell what is gonna happen. Let me see the week. Okay, the weekly is not looking that good, but again, too early to tell. Now, the fact that we're into yearly close, the last month of the year basically, we could get scammy moves, right? What this means, we could get potentially into late December, we could be getting like a fake out here, then reclaiming and then going higher, or a fake out to the upside and then dumping all the way down to 60K and all that stuff, right? Because we know that on session opens and closes, we are getting potentially scammy moves, all right? Scammy volatile moves. As it happens, with Sunday, as we know, when we get like a Sunday pump, we usually fade that and it ends up pretty good. Similar thing to how the quarters, months, weeks, years, and all those sessions close, right? Close and open. So yeah, something pretty similar to it. Now, um, let me go through VWAPs. On lower time frame, I don't have nothing to tell based on structure. Only that we have. Actually, I do have some things to tell. We have internal liquidity resting into these lows. So if I bring up my levels, I do have a liquidity, a POI basically sitting right here. Then of course we do have liquidity above into 94k. These all equal highs and lows. You mean open, low, high, close? Nope. I will send over later in the chat. I will put it in knowledge section what I mean with closes and opens. So yeah, we have liquidity resting here and here. Then we have a huge imbalanced move, which if bearish, we shouldn't be feeling. If really bearish, we should just be going lower and lower and lower. Now, here we are right in the middle. I don't have any level here in terms of price action. I do have some levels. Bye bye, Calypso. I'll post the recording later. So based on VWAP, I do have some levels and market profile, but based on structure, I don't have any level here. My extreme is sitting right into 83k, 82k, around there. And then the other extreme is into 90k, 90k, 91. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, also, last weekly low, 85k also. Last weekly low, it's this one, right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we could be taking it out and then reversing a bit here, but you know, liquidity and extreme is sitting a bit lower, so I'm not expecting a huge move to the upside from here. We could be getting it, but who knows. So yeah, that's pretty much the external liquidity that I'm and internal liquidity that I'm focusing on. And then what happened also since last week's outlook. If you remember, I talked about price grinding higher and higher and higher and getting all the way into this POI into 91k. And as the week went by, I posted like we could be having resistance here. Let me show you why. Resistance here into in the previous week value high, right? So I was like, okay, if this drives higher and closes below, this is bearish, right? And we could be getting a rotation towards previous week VWAP and all that stuff. So the weekly outlook of past week played out perfectly. So yeah, weekly value was indeed what we should be focusing on past week. Now, I'm done with structure, nothing to tell, nothing to add. Let's go into VWAP, starting off with the yearly. As we can see here, we do have some levels, right? We do have developing year value low at 88k and previous year value high at 80k, 81k. Right now, price looks like not holding. If bullish, we should be just holding above 88k and then grinding higher. Now that we are having this push lower, this impulsive move lower, I'm not pretty sure what we're gonna be doing. Most probably we're gonna be doing what we're gonna be doing is ranging within 90k, let's say 90k and 8k, right? So we will be having a range here at least for this month, right? Yeah, of course, an 88k retest and rejection of developing year by year low could lead to a move lower towards 81k. The most bearish scenario would be if price goes lower here, goes lower, then came back, retest into 81k, and then went all the way towards 65k, 66k. Right, this is the most bearish scenario. The bullish scenario, of course, would be acceptance back above developing year by year low for a move towards 100k, as I tell every single week. But I don't like the fact that we are getting an impulsive move below 88k, right? If really bullish, we should be holding above 88k. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Going into quarterly VWAP, as I mentioned last week, we rejected right into developing quarter by year low, right? This was a mega short for me, and that's why I took the short as well, right? Another reason why I took the short. Pretty cool play here. Rejection into quarterly value low, developing quarterly value low, and then we're going lower. If I open up standard deviation 2 bands, because we don't have a static value, right? We're trading within here. So these are the levels we're having right now. 81k and 92k, right? So no level based on quarterly around these areas, right? The level that I'm focusing on is again the extreme into 81, 82k. If you're holding, because you know the one type of accumulation we have is price nuking, making a low, baiting the low by taking internal liquidity, and then we're getting the momentum going, right? This is the another type of accumulation. But for now, we're focusing on the extreme into 83, 82k, around there. Also, we could be getting a weak fill. We'll see. But last week's outlook played out as well perfectly. The most bullish scenario, of course, would be acceptance above 92k. But having in mind that we are into quarterly close during this month, by the end of this month, it's gonna be interesting how we close the quarter, right? So yeah. Now going into the monthly VWAP, and the most important for now, for lower time frame at least, we get a monthly close, right? And a monthly open as well. So that means new value, new static value to play around with. Monthly, previous month value low sitting at 87.8, 87.7, around there. Let's say roughly 88k. So this level for me is gonna be the do or die going forward, right? If price starts as it does right now, trading below, comes retests and rejects, and we close below previous month value low, we're going much lower because we're rejecting value. And if we look at this, it didn't happen here. Where did it happen? Can't remember. I think it happened on a weekly value. Yeah, the prior weekly value. As it happened here as well, we rejected into previous week value low and started trading below. Similar thing to it, right into the current monthly developing monthly value and previous month value, right? So the bear scenario is this one. The bull scenario, of course, would be acceptance above, as we start trading above, retest, and move all the way towards 95k. Honestly, if we start slow grinding, there is no reason to reject here, right? For me, although it's a POI, the drive is gonna be to go higher because we do have liquidity resting as well above here and a lot of things to get a relief bounce, right? So yeah, the bullish scenario would be acceptance above 88k basically. right? So that's pretty much it. And then of course we're gonna be going all the way towards 95k. So yeah, nothing else to add. 88k is gonna be the do or die level for us going forward. Now into the weekly, which is also pretty important as well, and kind of aligning with previous month value. We do have a new static uh, weekly value, right? So previous week value low sitting at 87k, roughly 87k. Previous week VWAP sitting at 89k, and previous week value high sitting at 91k. So going forward, the do or die level is gonna be 87k, along with the previous month value low. If I bring this up, let's say 87 and 88k, this area is gonna be our do or die, right? So if price comes into here, retests and rejects and start trading below, we're gonna be going much low, much lower. Then much lower, meaning towards the extreme, at least here into 82, 83k, right? The most bullish scenario now would be price slow grinding, accepting above, retesting for a move all the way towards at least previous week value high. I don't see a reason why we should be rejecting previous week VWAP, structurally at least. And then of course, based on the monthly value as well, if we accept above, start trading above, we could be getting a move all the way towards 95k, right? This is the most bullish scenario. Else, we will be trading within this value. So we could be getting some pretty good rotations, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it for VWAP. Now let's go into DPO. Starting off with the weekly DPO, we are trading into a prior 6-week value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. If we merge them, we come up with value sitting at 87.76 and 81.6, right? So having this in mind, let's expand clusters. If price, again, as you can see, levels align. If price rejects into 87, 88k and starts trading back below, we're gonna be heading all the way towards 81, 82k, which is value low of this 6-week value, right? Now the bullish scenario, of course, would be acceptance above, trade above, retest, and move all the way at least to fill this inefficiency, or even higher towards 90, 93k, which is the other composite to have back here, right? This is like, I don't remember how many weeks, but it's another composite. So something else, we also, if you look at this, have another composite being formed, 1-2 weeks overlapping. Let me merge them. So if I bring this up, it kind of aligns with our scenario, right? Oh, rejection below 87, basically rejection into 87, and it's gonna lead to a move all the way lower. Acceptance above here, and we're getting a rotation, right? But in my opinion, this value is not really needed because we do have other values, and we do know also that having a value here, a value high and a value low here, we're gonna be rotational within this value, right? Because markets go from balance to imbalance, right? And back to balance, basically. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much it. 87K, 88K is gonna be again pretty important. Now let's go into the daily. And first of all, let's analyze what happened here. Starting off with what happened during the weekend. All right. We did have a value being built from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if I merge this with this, I do have a value, right? Going into Sunday, expand clusters, we did have some pretty cool rotations, right? So if you were actively trading Sunday, you could be getting this long, right? And then once we started closing below, also this was another reason why I took the short. You could be getting a rotation all the way to 90K, right? So pretty cool rotations here. And as you know, markets go from balance to imbalance. And where did we go? Balance, back to imbalance, into imbalance, and then back to balance. Where was the other balance? Right into this 4 to 3 day value. Let me merge. No, I won't merge this day because this is like, if you remember the session we did the other day, this is a B-shaped profile, so this is like a trend, right? And if I expand this cluster, it shows why it is like this. So the balance we have here is this one to here. So on a lower time frame, expand clusters, we could be seeing rotations if we manage to hold here from wire low of this week of this 3-day composite into wire high, right into these singles, right? Which is also a pretty important level to flip in terms of VWAP and our composites, right? So rejection here is another short opportunity, at least all the way into 86K. Acceptance above, it's a long opportunity, at least towards 90.5, 91K, right? Now, if we keep on trading below, this is gonna be our resistance. 86K is gonna be our resistance, right? So we could be getting trades of here to fill some inefficiencies below, which with NPOC sitting at 84.5. And if I merge these 2 days, we do have another composite with the NPOC sitting at 84K, right? So we could be getting another trade in here. So that's pretty much it, everything about the outlook. So let me bring everything into the chart. Also, let me bring up the composite here. 87.7 and 86K roughly. When did it start? From on Sunday, right? So composite 87.7, 87.7 and 86K. This is gonna be our value for daily, right? So keeping in mind this for intraday trades, and also our extreme into um, 80 to 83k. So if I bring up into the one chart everything, acceptance above 86k is gonna be a good intraday play towards 87, 88k, right? Rejections into here is gonna be a swing and also a good intraday play for at least a move into 86k, acceptance below 86k, and we're gonna go all the way towards liquidity sitting right here and our extreme. Also, we're getting rotation from 6-week value high if we reject up here and into 6-week value low. So I'm expecting to get a move all the way down into here if we reject some levels. The bullish scenario would be acceptance above, retest into these levels for a move all the way towards previous week value high and potentially even higher into previous month VWAP. Right, so these are the levels I'm gonna be focusing on this week. Levels. So that's pretty much everything we need to keep in mind going forward. So yeah. Alright guys, I'll stop the recording right now, and before I stop the recording, something else I wanted to mention. So let me bring this up. First of all, the challenge is done. The challenge is done, the 50k challenge. All the trades that I took were posted here, basically. You can go through them. I'll do also a breakdown of every trade I took on Friday stream, or maybe I'll do a stream on Wednesday. I'll see. And also, something else. You guys can now either keep your subscription or get access into the Discord by buying a challenge on Breakout. You either get a discount on your purchase, or you're getting, if you buy a 100k challenge, 1 month free, right? So you have ways to join discounted or at least for free the Discord, all right? Either by bluffing or Breakout or another partnership that I'm gonna be bringing in soon. All right, so that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. Also, I'm gonna be hosting another challenge soon, probably a 1k to 5k or 10k. I'll see. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty good, pretty good. All right, so let me stop the recording and jump right into anything else you guys want to discuss.